The 2015 Formula One season recently concluded with British driver Lewis Hamilton being the world champion. Of course, now we have to wait until next year for the next Formula One season, but there is a question that all of us should ask ourselves. Will we have a Malaysian F1 driver? Now, it's easy to say that this will be easily attainable because we have Petronas as the major sponsor for the Mercedes team, amongst Ferrari, McLaren, Williams as part of the front-running teams in the sport. However, we must also remember that Petronas is here for the reason to sponsor petrol to Mercedes and to also brand themselves globally within the sport. They have made no attempts to actually breed local drivers or to invest in them in order to enter the sport. So this is a sad case for Malaysia in terms of the local talent. And that is one reason why it's very difficult, which is one reason: sponsorship. To enter Formula One as a racer is very expensive to enter. This one you would need major MNC companies, global companies in order to financially support you in a racing team. Because in the past, you would rely on your own racing ability to enter a racing team where you would compete. But today, you would actually have to pay the racing team in order to compete, because with the recent economic crisis, it's very difficult for a lot of teams to survive. Hence, any funds that they can find from wherever sources is very important. That is why sponsorship is a major factor in Formula One today, and a lot of these sponsors are not seeing Malaysian drivers as the ideal candidates they want to look for. Most of them will be German drivers, British, mostly of European nationalities or even South Americans. That is a sad case. And in fact, we only have until today one Malaysian driver that has represented us in Formula One. In 60 years of Formula One history, there's only been a guy called Alex Young. Some of you may have known him. He raced for a team called Minardi, a very small team, and he raced in 2001 and 2002 for them. Unfortunately, it ended with only 2 years. Only 2 years a Malaysian gets to represent us in Formula One. Now that is a very sad case, and unfortunately today it's even tougher for Malaysians to enter the sport. So what can we do in order to solve this problem and to ease it? The easiest way from our side that we can help and contribute is to actually watch F1 races again. We have to treat F1 the same way we treat the World Cup, MotoGP, even badminton with Lee Chong Wei. We need to look at F1 the same way and follow it as casual fans, because otherwise the Malaysian government or any national companies will see little incentive to actually breed local drivers and invest in them. So the decision comes to you. If you want to have a Malaysian F1 driver on the grid in the next few years, watch F1 races starting next year on March. And who knows, maybe you might see a Malaysian as a Formula One world champion. Thank you.